Greetings, Elderly Vegan here, and welcome to episode 7 regarding the 12 hallmarks of aging and how to live a longer, healthier life by slowing down these classic hallmarks with a whole food, plant-based diet along with positive lifestyle modifications. This particular hallmark is referred to as mitochondrial dysfunction. And as you may know, mitochondria are the microscopic little energy factories present in virtually every cell in the human body. Mitochondria are responsible for supplying about 90% of all our energy requirements. And those cells which require the most energy contain mitochondria by the thousands. However, as we age, mitochondria decline in both number and function, and when they are spent, so are we. In addition, as mitochondria age, they start turning out damaging free radicals, which contribute to cellular aging. And as you remember from some of my previous videos, autophagy is the process where our body enters the house cleaning mode at the cellular level for the intended purpose of getting rid of all the accumulated cellular debris. Yet when this process occurs in mitochondria, it's referred to as mitophagy as opposed to autophagy. And if this process doesn't occur, worn out, free radical producing mitochondria start to accumulate. And with regard to specific plant-based foods, which are particularly effective at addressing the health of our mitochondria, a top contender would be mushrooms for their high concentration of an amino acid called ergothioneine. And the significance of ergothioneine is that it serves as a highly targeted antioxidant helping to address free radical damage specific to mitochondria, and that is in addition to boosting their energy production. Apparently, some of the best mushrooms in this regard include oyster, porcini, maitake, and shiitake. And other great inclusions to one's diet include pomegranates, red raspberries, and walnuts, specifically for the phytonutrient referred to as ellagic acid. And the significance of ellagic acid is that it is utilized by gut bacteria for the production of a compound known as urolithin A. Urolithin A is a potential superstar for mitochondrial health as it is particularly beneficial for being able to induce mitophagy, the house cleaning process for mitochondria. Unfortunately, there may be a fly in the ointment when it comes to about 60% of the population who either do not have the correct gut flora for the conversion of ellagic acid to urolithin A, or if they do, urolithin A will not be produced in sufficient quantities. For these individuals, it appears supplementation with urolithin A may be their only option. But given urolithin A supplements are bloody expensive, least wise from my perspective, there are other ways to have your mitochondria purring like kittens, even if your gut microbiome is not performing up to task with regard to urolithin A production. And I will address these other efficiency-enhancing options momentarily. But first, here are a few more good options to include in your shopping cart, not only for optimal mitochondrial health, but for overall health in general. Dark leafy greens like spinach, kale, and Swiss chard, and especially nitric oxide-producing veggies like arugula and beets. Cruciferous veggies such as broccoli, Brussels sprouts, and cauliflower. Plus, blueberries and blackberries are particularly effective, as are the omega-3 fatty acids found in walnuts, flax seeds, and chia seeds. And don't forget avocados for that matter. While whole grains like oats, quinoa are great, and so too is brown rice for great additions for mitochondrial health. So at this point, I will now mention 3 more strategies for overall mitochondrial health which look very promising. In this case, these 3 performance-enhancing superstars all happen to be supplements. One supplement is referred to as PQQ, which is known not only for improving energy production in existing mitochondria, but it's also responsible for the production of new mitochondria. Another supplement which shows promise is the phytonutrient resveratrol. Apparently, resveratrol not only helps with the production of new mitochondria, like PQQ, but it also aids in the house cleaning process of mitophagy, just like urolithin A. And I should probably mention, food sources for resveratrol simply do not contain a sufficient amount of this phytonutrient to be effective. This means supplementation will be required. But I have saved what is perhaps the best one for last, and that is supplementing with NAD+. And with regard to mitochondrial health, NAD supplementation apparently enhances mitochondrial function just like PQQ, aids in the house cleaning process of mitophagy just like resveratrol, while it also is involved with DNA repair for the DNA unique to mitochondria. But when it comes to the overall health benefits of NAD+, this compound may be the grand superstar of all, and I devoted a significant portion of my previous video on the 6th hallmark of aging to NAD supplementation, where our nutrient sensing mechanisms go haywire as we age. So if you didn't catch this video, it might be worth viewing, if for no other reason than learning more about NAD supplementation potentially increasing human lifespan. But at this point, I need to relay to you my personal experiences with all 3 of those mitochondrial energy-boosting supplements I've just mentioned. Anyway, as an overachieving, biohacking, health-conscious elderly vegan, I tick them all. And I will provide you with just a single example of what I was capable of doing when I was only 72 years old, as I think you will find my example most interesting. What you see in this photo used to be my lawn. Furthermore, what you see also represents just a small portion of my entire work area. And although it took 4 months to accomplish, I totally recontoured a treacherous 61-degree slope into a more user-friendly 44-degree slope, and in the process I conservatively moved over 130 tons of dirt, broken slabs of bedrock with nothing more than third world hand tools. I used a pick, a shovel, and a wheelbarrow. Never underestimate the destructive force of an elderly vegan hell-bent on nuking his own backyard when he has taken PQQ, resveratrol, and NAD supplements for the last several years. So the question becomes, were any of these mitochondrial energy-enhancing supplements responsible for my seemingly inexhaustible energy? Obviously, I have far too many variables in the mix to know for sure. But with regard to my energy output, I think you will agree that I fall into the anomaly category for my age group. But now, I need to return to the intended purpose of this video. And in this regard, I still have to mention which lifestyle modifications also help to enhance mitochondrial performance. As it turns out, both regular aerobic exercise as well as regular strength training are beneficial, with cardio workouts as the most effective. And if you don't exercise at all, just start walking, as this also improves mitochondrial efficiency. And the same is true with intermittent fasting, as it too helps with cleanup and recycling of worn-out mitochondria. Finally, I need to mention that both heat and cold therapy promote mitochondrial health. And this is accomplished through the production of stress proteins, which actually protect and repair mitochondria while boosting cellular energy and longevity in the process. Now then, what should one avoid with regard to maximizing mitochondrial output? Well, of all the 20 or so amino acids found in human protein, one amino acid in particular is heavily linked to cellular aging and the disruption of mitochondrial health due to the production of damaging free radicals. And this amino acid is methionine, which is most abundant in animal-based protein, although it's definitely found in plant protein as well, but to a lesser extent. Without a doubt, methionine is one of the essential amino acids, but overdoing it on this amino acid has a downside because of all the free radical damage it can cause. Other foods to avoid include insulin-spiking refined carbs and sugar, ultra-processed foods like fast food in general, charred meat cooked at high temperatures, and of course I couldn't leave out the group 1 carcinogens, including all processed meats like hot dogs, bologna, and sausages. They all take their toll on mitochondrial health. Well, I hope you found this video informative, and perhaps it will provide you with some ideas which will help you give your mitochondria guys and girls a helping hand. And in return, they hopefully will reward you with many extra years of abundant energy. To your good health, the elderly vegan. Charred meat, charred meat, charred meat, charred meat, charred meat, charred meat,